Hamid Mir, a very famous Pakistani journalist, he wrote just last month for The Guardian that when you were in office, he wasn't allowed on air, even though you had once called him a favorite anchor. So the problem is that a lot of this stuff did happen on your watch. You were not a champion of the free press. So people say, hold on, now you're saying it's bad when it happens against you.
Firstly, Mehdi, the only time that I found out about a journalist being picked up and disappeared was a guy called Matiullah Jan. The next day I got him back. The problems we had were we were at the tail end of the war on terror. And the establishment was very worried about any criticism about it. So they were responsible for a few guys who were picked up. But this was nothing compared to what's going on. The only thing what we tried to do was there was fake news on social media, and that was, causing havoc because they would be slandering people and so on. That's the only thing we tried, but when there was opposition from the media, we didn't even bring those laws in. But again, I mean, there is no comparison what is happening right now. My name cannot be mentioned on media.
Hold on. When you were Prime Minister, Nawaz Sharif's name couldn't be mentioned on air either. That's what your critics would say. You did the same thing to Nawaz Sharif.
Not at all. No, look, Nawaz Sharif was convicted by the Supreme Court. He then faked these illnesses and somehow managed to bring out these tests which said he was about to die. Then his brother gave an affidavit that he's just going 2 weeks for treatment to come back. A convict. He goes to England and suddenly all illnesses disappear, and then he starts giving lectures to Pakistan. He was a convict. You can't compare what was happening to me. I'm not convicted of anything.
But the media couldn't say his name. I'm no fan of Nawaz Sharif. I'm just saying his name couldn't be mentioned on air. We're almost out of time, but I got to ask, do you have any regrets about what you did in office, especially with the military, given what the military is now doing against you? What would you go back and do differently if you could? Last question.
Well, just firstly, given, what happened after I came into power, I should have actually, with a weak coalition government, I should not have taken power. I should have gone for elections again. Because you can't bring reforms and changes, and especially rule of law, if you have a weak government. And if I have to do it again, look, this hybrid system cannot work. If you are an elected prime minister, you must have the authority to implement your reforms. It cannot work that you have the responsibility because you're elected, but the authority is shared, and the army chief has a veto power.